to some of the basic things that you need to know about the bassoon before you start playing. So what I always tell students on the first day is to make sure that they set their case on the ground with the label facing up. That way your bassoon doesn't fall out when you open the case. The next step I would suggest to any student before playing the bassoon is to get a little prescription bottle or something to that nature and begin soaking your reed. The bassoon reed needs to be well soaked in order to play, and the whole reed can be exposed in that water. So while you're setting up, just let that soak. You'll see that there are 4 parts to the bassoon in your case, 5 parts really with the bocal. You'll also see that there's a seat strap. It's just a basic, usually leather strap. You're going to want to put this on your seat and sit on it, and this is going to be used for when you're holding the bassoon so it doesn't fall from you or it gets too heavy. So we'll go through the basic parts of the bassoon first. You'll see this part of the bassoon. It'll have usually a silver little cap at the end. This is called the boot, and this will be the bottom of the bassoon. Then you'll need to work your way up and move on to the wing joint. The wing joint's going to be the smaller piece, and it's going to have the smaller piece of cork at the bottom. That smaller piece of cork will go ahead and fit into the smaller hole on the boot. We'll then move up to the long joint. This is obviously the longer piece of the bassoon that will fit into the wing joint. You're going to want to make sure that you line this up pretty directly with the wing joint, and it's going to have this lock that'll lock right into that wing joint so that they stay together so they don't split apart. You'll then move on to the bell. The bell, it's very important that the bell lines up with this bridge key so that those notes can be played. Just want to make as minimal amount of twisting as possible and slip that onto the top of the long joint. In your case, you'll then see a metal piece, almost looks like a gooseneck. This is going to be called your bocal. It's very important that you're very fragile with the bocal and hold it at the top of the curve where it's most stable, because you don't want it to bend. With the bocal, you're going to push it all the way in, making sure that that whisper key hole is going to be covered up by the whisper key pad. This is going to ensure better sound quality. That's why you use the whisper key, and just overall tone of your instrument. So once you've gotten the bassoon all set up, you can then take out your reed. Be very fragile with the reed, because being a double reeded instrument, the reed is even more fragile. You can then suck all the water off and place it onto the bocal until it stops going on. That way you know that you won't have any air leaks. Next, I'll have my friend Eric Lagergren go through the next steps in playing the bassoon.
Hi, so my name is Eric Lagergren, and I'm going to be showing you how to play the bassoon and then eventually actually take it apart. Fancy stuff. So, first, I'm going to, holy crap, I'm going to actually moisten my reed some more so that I can actually play the bassoon properly. Because like Cole said, that's always important. Yeah. Cool, so now that that's pretty much been successfully done, what you need to do now to be able to actually play it is make sure that you know where all of your fingers go. The actual formation of your hands, you're going to want them to be kind of just a relaxed C, and then those are going to go around the bassoon. I would recommend looking in a method book for the bassoon to actually figure out which holes the fingers should cover. But once you actually get it, the embouchure for the bassoon should be kind of like you're sucking through a milkshake straw. You want to make sure that you have equal pressure going on all of the different reed just from all of your lip. And so it should look a little like this. So there we go, that's me playing the bassoon reed without the bassoon. So now, if you do that on the actual bassoon, you should get a pretty nice little bassoon sound there. Now, a big step to actually doing this is to make sure that you have enough air coming through to actually make the reed vibrate. Otherwise, you're just going to get some air going through. And a good way to actually figure that out is to crow the reed, which is where you take the reed into your mouth up to where the little metal part of the reed is, and you should get a double note playing. You don't want to hear a high note and you don't want to hear just a low note. You should hear both of them at the same time to show you that you're actually using the right technique. Like that. It's gonna sound kind of like a dying duck. But if you hear both of them, that actually means that you're doing a good job. So for once, bad sounds equals good job. And then just apply that same technique to the bassoon again. Cool. So once you're finished playing everything, it is recommended that you take everything apart in the same order that you actually put it together in. So first, take out your reed and make sure that you place it in, holy crap, that's far away. Whoa. Make sure you put it away in a reed case that usually has holes in it so that the reed can actually dry. That way you don't have mold and other wonderful things growing on your reed when you come back to it later. Then you want to make sure that you take the bocal off, but be very fragile when you actually take it off because this is the most fragile part of the instrument. It's very easy for this to bend. So be very careful with it and make sure that you put it in the exact same area that you actually got it from in the case. As I put it in backwards. There we go. Let's get that in. So then, with the rest of the bassoon, you can take the belt off next, just like you took it off just like you put it on when you first started. And then make sure that you unlatch both of these joints. And I would recommend unhooking it from the seat strap at this point so that you actually have more leverage on the bassoon and it doesn't go tumbling over. So then, it doesn't really matter exactly which joint you take off first. I usually do the long joint first just because it's easier to grab onto when the lean joint is still in. And that will go in the bassoon case just like it was before. And you're going to have the wing joint kind of fit into it as though you're putting it on the bassoon. You'll see that they fit together nicely just like a little puzzle. And when all of that is done, before you put the boot of the bassoon away, you'll see that you have this fancy little silk or synthetic cloth that's in your case. This is to actually clean the bassoon. Now, the only part you really necessarily have to clean is the boot because this is where all of your air kind of gets trapped and that's where all of the moisture will kind of build up in the instrument. So what you do is you stick the end, this little string with the hard rubber on it, you're going to stick that down one of the sides of the boot, and then you're going to have it go down. Then all you do is you maneuver it inside the boot. It's like a fun game actually. And you eventually get it to come out the other side where you can pull it out. But don't force anything because you never know if it's hooked on a key or something that will eventually break off of the bassoon. That would be awkward. So once you've done that and you're pretty sure that all the moisture is out of it, feel free to put the boot right back in the case where it's supposed to go. And then close your case, but don't forget that your reed is still over here on the floor, so make sure that you put that in the case as well, because that would also be awkward. And then just close the case. Remember to actually clip it so that when you pick it up, the instrument doesn't fall all over the place. And then go on your way to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.